In this video, I'm going to help you to identify when to persist versus take a break in your speech sound practice with your child. Hi, I'm Jane from Talking Made Easy. I'm a qualified speech and language pathologist, and today I'm going to give you a clear idea of when to keep going and when to take a break or shift your focus during speech sound practice. Stay with me to the end where I will give you my top tip for working on sounds that are really tricky for your little one, but without causing frustration. Now, one of the biggest barriers you can run into when it comes to speech sound practice is trying a new sound with your child and they can't do it. When this happens, it can be tricky to know what to do. As if we push, then it is possible and quite likely that your child is going to build a resistance to speech practice. However, if we just avoid the sound completely, then we are relying only on natural development for the sound to emerge. Sometimes this works, but other times it doesn't. So what do you do? The first step is to separate the sounds out into two categories. Sounds that your child needs to work on, but they can do. So for example, maybe they need to work on s as they aren't putting it into words, but when you try the sound on its own, they can do it. So they can copy s, but maybe they can't get the s in a word like sun. It becomes done, for example. And then the other category is the sounds that your child can't yet do, even when you practice a sound just on its own. So this would be the s if they can't copy it when you just do the s. In your daily practice, start by working on the sounds that your child can do as the main part of your session, as this allows them to experience a sense of success and more clarity sooner. But also bring in just one of the sounds that they can't do just yet and present it to them in a way that you simply model the sound, giving them the chance to have a go, but keep your expectation of them to say the sound to an absolute minimum, even 0. Think of it as bonus sound practice. So with the sound that they can do, you are looking to hear it produced accurately. But this bonus, more tricky sound is simply present, so they're being exposed to it. Ideally, by the time that you have practiced the sound that they can do and you have brought this to a level of mastery, then the sound that they can't yet do is available, or at least closer to being available than before, because it has been present in their sphere for a bit longer. So for example, if I have the targets s and k, and I know that my child can do that s, but is just not using it consistently in their talking, but they just can't get the k at all, it just keeps turning into a t, for example. So maybe you're hearing tat for cat, then I would work on that s sound using my 3-step speech sound process, which you will see a link to on the screen right now. And then as I am working on that, at the beginning of each of my speech sessions or at some point during the day, I would try practicing that k sound. So that's the one that they can't yet do. And I practice it just 3 to 5 times. Again, with absolutely no expectation of them to succeed, but more looking at it as an opportunity to have a go. Keeping it to just 3 or 5 tries lets it be an activity that is over and done with before they know it. So it gives the chance to practice and develop, but it does not give the chance for frustration to build, which is very important. So as you go, you can make this practice even more effective by learning how to cue for your specific sound. You'll find some example videos of teaching specific sounds and cues you can give to elicit them in the speech sound section under playlists. If you find that your child is really against practicing the sound they can't do, even when you just do 3 to 5 tries per day, then put it aside and come back to it later. We do not want to build frustration. It is more important that they enjoy speech practice and go at a slower pace than pushing so hard that they shut down. As if they start to shut down, then no practice can happen. So you're much better to go more slowly, but at least still be practicing. Now, the secret to making the speech practice fun, even when you're working on something that is really hard for your child, is to bring energy and enthusiasm to your practice. Let it be fun. To do this, try to reframe success. So rather than only seeking accuracy, start to see a successful session as one where your child is engaged and having a go. Trying is closer to the result than not trying. So celebrate every attempt and keep your feedback really positive. Good try. Wow, you're trying so hard. Should we try another one? Are you going to go first or am I? Giving this option presents the opportunity to have a go without forcing them to. So if they choose not to have a go, you can simply model the sound, making it seem as though you are having just so much fun. Oh, I like that one. It's like a mountain in my mouth. Confidence is key. So as you're practicing your 3 to 5 tries, remember to be really positive in your feedback. And if they are still not so keen, remember you can always park the sound and try something else for a while and return to this one later. So when it comes to working on sounds that are really tricky for your child, remember to create opportunity to practice, but without expectation, and make this the bonus part of your practice, and have a slightly easier sound as your main focus until this tricky sound becomes less tricky and ready to take the front seat in your speech practice sessions. If you see signs of shutdown, put the sound aside and come back to it later. Most importantly, have fun and happy chatting.